So
I'm
He's
already
back.
working on phase 5. I don't know what y'all are talking about. So
wow.
so with all that going on, right?
So
The one thing I need. How many movies do you guys have already?
Since it's all four of us, we're going 4, right? Since it's phase 4. No, but so far what we've established is Bucky's journey is going through these phases, it seems like, or at least in the case of Leia's X-Men. So I've established that Bucky is now putting together a team of young Avengers.
How many movies?
Or at least
is
that?
We already have 3 currently.
Yeah. So
3?
First movie.
Okay.
First movie is the tempo, as you like to preach, Trooper. So the established East Coast or Young Avengers, depending on which one which one sounds more appealing. Of course, we will introduce Kamala Khan, well written this time around, and Squirrel Girl.
That's all 3 movies.
No.
Okay, well, how many movies do you have total?
I'm getting there, man. First movie is my Captain America movie. Second movie is the Fantastic Four, headed by Schooner, which established that there's still some cosmic entity, or at least cosmic threats, still at work. Third movie is Leia plus size, working on the street level aspect of the MCU, which is she's going to introduce X-Men, or at least the mutants.
Right.
And so far, the mutants have been established in MCU now. So with that being said, with that all being established, what movie will you be working on as far as phase 4 is concerned to cap off? That's what we're going to do for the first year. 4 movies in total of phase 4. Unlike what Marvel is doing, trying to do everything all at once.
Where's the 4th film?
You are.
You got Fantastic Four. Well, I'm actually doing a whole entire phase. So I mean, I guess phase 4 could be 3 films. I'm cool for that. So what I'm gonna need to try to figure this out. All right, so what I'm gonna say probably at the end of the Captain America.
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do the next Avengers movie.
I'm already ahead of you.
Starring the new West Coast or East Coast Avengers.
Oh no, I'm not even going anywhere near that. So what we're gonna do is, I guess we'll go with I guess we can move up the frame on my stuff. So at the end of the Captain America film, I just need a cutscene from, let's see, from Ragnarok. I want to go back to that bog. So we're going to go back to that bog. And all I really need is just, if I have to tie this into to all this, we have scraps of Mjolnir on the floor. Obviously, I just need a tiny sliver. Somehow that tiny sliver is like a little character in the little post teaser, maybe a little piece of wind, or maybe it starts moving on its own. Moves into a nice little boggy part. We won't make this post trailer teaser too bad. We go ahead and we cut to a pond. Next thing you see is big old lightning strike. And then next thing you see is a froggy hand going for a miniature Mjolnir. And that'll tease Throg. So
okay. That's great.
So I guess for phase 5, well, because I was going to focus on growing the kid aspect. So say for like D+ or something like that, we were going to do the Pet Avengers. But I've already introduced Throg into the MCU. So
it actually works too, because after some heavy-handedness that we got with Leia's version, we can do a fun-loving adventure.
And then tying it into gosh, tying it into Multiverse of Madness, I'm probably going to need. I'll probably have to steal the teaser there also. We know that there's at least a fracture in a dimension, so we'll maybe hint. We'll maybe either because we know there's a galactic threat, so we'll either hint at Angela, or we will hint at the Naglfar beacon, because I want to do a setup for the War of the Realms, at least by Phase 5. So that kind of alludes a little bit to Angela. If I have to use Love and Blunder as a film, we're gonna nix that as a film.
We're gonna write Jane properly in this one.
We're gonna nix that and just turn that into a 6-episode arc on D+.
Okay.
Somewhere in there, I need the condom to snap. Because I'm gonna have to bring Thunderstrike into it. So that's another seed.
Actually, he'll write Captain Marvel too.
I don't know if I want to. Well, if I'm gonna have to touch Captain Marvel, then we're gonna go right back into more multiverse. Because it's either going to be Wanda that's going to be my tentpole, or it's going to be Angela that's going to be my tentpole. Preferably, I want Angela to be my tentpole for Phase 5, like the character that takes all that phase through. Because I'm working up while you guys are focused on Earth and stuff like that. I'm focusing on space.
Right.
Excellent.
So,
Which would, if you want, you can even have space tie into the Fantastic Four, because there is a cosmic threat in that one.
Well, either in the X-Men series, or subsequently somewhere in there, if there's like a subsequent series or a subsequent film, I'm gonna have to borrow, and I'm either gonna have to create an entire film, an entire script for a film, or I need a cutscene that takes us back to Sakaar. Because when everyone is re-snapped back in, not everything is as it is. So I need a broken container, because I was gonna go with Collector, but I'm not gonna go with the Collector. I want it to be more Contest of Champions. So I need a busted container.
Are you introducing Bay Ray Bill?
No, but I mean, if we want to go to Thor Core, we could. That's a whole other thing. I kind of want to leave people wondering if I'm going to go ahead and do that, but I kind of want to leave that open.
First of all, what's the project really? What is really the project is what I'm asking.
I'm moving towards Asgardians of the Galaxy is what I'm moving to.
Okay.
And I'm moving towards, while all this is going on Earth, I want to focus on the War of the Realms, because I need to bring Angela back. I need to bring Angela in.
Okay.
I've already got Thor popping a condom, so that brings in Thunderstrike. This version of Thunderstrike is just going to have to be. It's going to have to be Jane, and it's going to have to be Thor. It's the easiest way to. It's the easiest way to work with the characters that are existing.
Why pop a condom? They actually conceived.
I got a question.
Well, mind you, it's all about a woman's choice up until the condom pops. So,
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
In our reworking of Endgame, are we still going to have the 5-year gap? Because we have the 5-year gap, we can say that Jane and Thor had a kid.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in there. Like I said, we can either use Love and Blunder for that, or have it be its own standalone. But it'd just be easier to toss it at the internet stream and turn it into 6 episodes.
Okay.
But then what I wanted to do with Sakaar is I kind of wanted like a broken jar or a broken container, and when everything re-snaps back in, I want to see a Clintar. I don't want to necessarily see someone with a Clintar, but I want to see a Clintar. And then I'm not looking to bring back Scourge. So what I'm going to end up doing, since this is a whole separate Earth,
and Scourge dead.
Yeah, well, technically, I mean, you could bring him back if you really wanted to, but I don't want to go there. I want to bring in a separate character. I want to go ahead and I want to bring in Venom Space Knight. So it's going to be a different Clintar, and it's probably either going to be a different Flash or it's going to be an existing character we've already seen. And that's how we get our Venom Space Knight. So, and then what I want to do from there is, since we've already covered that, I'm going to say the Loki series ends with Loki's redeemed himself, so he gets another shot at life. So here you go. We have Kid Loki now. So he's been reborn. I don't know. We'll figure out that loophole. But it's, or he's been de-aged. He's been de-aged. So, and that's how we got our Kid Loki. And what we're working towards is,
It's
since
going
we're already,
It could be Sheep that he used an illusion to escape Thanos, and somehow took an escape pod to get out of that explosion of the ship.
He's in a tangent
or you
universe.
could say that, or you can say because they created the parallel universe, which ultimately created this whole multiverse of madness. They can say that Loki gets a second chance in life, but in order to fix the multiverse of madness, they need to put him.
Or hey,
back.
how about this?
Yeah,
how about this? Ragnarok happened, and we all know the story of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody comes back to life. Like Ragnarok didn't really we will correct Taiki Waititi's dumbass idea of Ragnarok and actually fall through what Ragnarok is supposed to.
Asgardians being on Earth, so I want.
Yeah, I know. No, what I'm saying is, even though Ragnarok happened, like those that still die get reborn. So we will still
the thing with that is you're looking to bring Hela back as a character. So I mean we do that.
But
we do that, and then you're creating a loophole that all these these fans are gonna start getting all weird about.
Here's a kicker. Remember what happened to Red Skull, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Hela comes back, but she doesn't come back in the material world. She's in hell.
I like it.
And she is. And here's the thing. She is content.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to go there.
That actually makes a lot of sense too, because Underworld, Hela, she sees the destruction, and maybe we meet that the Marvel's equivalent of the devil. And
well, the thing is if we break the universe again, I want Angela to go ahead and take that spot as far as Secret Wars. So Angela, Queen of Hell. So I don't want to necessarily bring Hela back. I know she's out there, but if you go ahead and you put Asgard back, that's where she gets her power from. So right now she's not at full strength. We can keep her at not full strength. So,
but yeah,
because I want to move towards War of the Realms, and then we can bring Midgard, which. That's all your project right there. We can bring Midgard into it later. But
actually sounds really good, actually.
But what I want to do is I'm going to do the same thing with Valkyrie that they did with Thor. Sure, she's king of Asgard or whatever it is. I don't necessarily care for that part. But she also has another task as king of Asgard, if you will. So now she has to put the Valkyrie back together. So if we're going to go ahead and follow her storyline, we can either do 6 episodes or we can do subsequent films if she gets her own trilogy. Depends if we get greenlit for it. I'm going to say we don't have the budget, but if we don't have the budget, then it's going to turn into a D+ streaming. And what Valkyrie is going to do, she's going to reform the Valkyrie, but she's going to go through different areas of the galaxy, if you will, and it's going to be more like the Green Lantern Corps, where it's not all going to be humans. Some of it's going to be CG, some of it's going to be practical makeup, and we're going to have all sorts of Valkyries. So we'll have insectoid Valkyries, we'll have mammalian Valkyries, we'll have your anthro Valkyries, we'll have human Valkyrie. Yeah, because the new Valkyries will look more like the Green Lantern Corps, where you have all sorts of different species. Because you got to remember, Hela completely destroyed all the Valkyrie. Originally, I was going to have another Valkyrie on Sakaar, but that's kind of cheesy. So I was like, okay, well then let's go with Venom Space Knight. I'll put him there, and then if he needs an arc, we can give him an arc. But he at one point joins the Guardians later on. If we do Guardians Volume 4, because we can get We can get Groot back. We can get Raccoon back. We have another CG character. We don't necessarily have to bring Quill back. We can bring in Kitty Pryde and go about it that way. That way we get a younger actor. And then as far as if we do anything with Gamora, we'll address it later. So they could still be in search of Gamora. I don't know. It depends on what the script looks like. So, but yeah, so that's what I kind of want to do. It's like, if we're going to do War of the Realms, the X-Men will be involved. We can even bring Young Avengers into it. The Pet Avengers is all for streaming. It's all for kids, so that the kids can start getting used to all this stuff. Even though Throg will be in the film, Throg is not going to necessarily be the tentpole, but for the Asgardian films, he could, or it could be between him and Angela, depending on where we go with it. But for the kids, they're going to get Throg, they're going to get Red Wing. You know, if I really feel like I need to, I can do a double dinosaur series for streaming for kids. So that'll get the kids involved into Marvel. So that's kind of where I wanted to go with it. So in Phase 5, we have the actual War of the Realms. So the whole point is to go ahead during Phase 4 while all this is happening, is to start kind of seeding for it. And if it doesn't happen, if we don't do War of the Realms, we can still do just as Guardians of the Galaxy. Or push comes to shove, we can technically break the universe again with Doctor Strange and have it reformed back by the Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Four still kind of loop through all this. So it's going to kind of play more like Secret Wars.
Which is why I wanted to, in my Fantastic Four version, that's why I wanted the story to be centered around the Fantastic Four, their dynamics and the whole, so it could fit into everything.
Yeah,
they're kind of
I have a question. Oh, sorry. It is about Loki. You say Loki. You say has been reformed or reborn.
Yeah.
Do we lose Trickster Loki? Is there any part of him that would want to revert back to the mischievous trickster ways? Because heaven forbid, that was one of the great qualities about him, and why I think a lot of people liked him, was this mischievousness about him that he has. So if he has,
there is a way to have a good guy trickster character.
Yeah, which you be willing to do that?
Yeah, it depends on how he's reborn. Because remember, throughout the Loki series, he redeems himself for doing all this. So now he gets a chance at life. Depends on how he's reborn. If he just gets aged back, or if we have immaculate conception with a character, or
I actually think it would be interesting, because while I don't like that whole idea. Do you guys like the idea in the whole Loki series that there's this cosmic timeline type deal where they Okay.
Well, by having Loki reborn, that erases all that. So that's the whole point. If we want to make it
right there.
If you want to bring him back, though, you can technically use Doctor Strange to do that, because Doctor Strange is trying to fix the multiverse of madness. So
you can do
that.
And when I be trickster, it can be trickster for good, but that's the thing is not to lose that, take that trickster talent that he has. Isn't that part of his power? Because isn't he the god of trickster? He's a godlike.
Well, with him being reborn, he hasn't come into his full powers. So he's going to be more of a Malcolm in the Middle type character, where a lot of this trickster stuff really comes off as just as being mischievous, as opposed to a trickster. I mean, obviously he's going to evolve into one if that's what we want. But if he's
going to be reborn again, is he going to have all of his memories?
It depends on where we want to go with it. I would say and I got the green light from the legal department. So all of the Marvel comic and stuff are now labeled Legends. So we can pretty much do whatever we want.
Well, because the idea is that if he redeems himself in his own personal series and is allowed to go back to his life,
I'm pretty sure he'll make the same mistakes again. Because I mean, in order for him to, it's going to be like the Shepherd thing in Mass Effect. Sort of like when you bring him back, if you change anything about him, he's no longer Shepherd. So he probably will. He probably will. maybe better, maybe worse. Probably worse, because we're giving him a whole new shot at discombobulating the universe. So
that's an interesting idea too, especially when we're talking about that. If we want to add the 5-year gap in Endgame where Thor and Jane did have a kid, there you go. That's how Loki pops in.
Yeah,
guys in the chat, you guys talking about the reboots? We're not going to be rebooting anything.
No.
As far as Loki's concerned, we're only doing this is because, like I said, I'm bringing the concept of bringing a proper Ragnarok. Not necessarily retconning what Ragnarok is supposed to be in Thor Ragnarok, but literally it's supposed to bring back the Asgardians in such a way that nobody would have expected, because it wasn't really established what Ragnarok really was. Not really, not in the slightest. It's just Surtur just stabbed his sword in the butthole of a planet and blew it up. But that's not. I'm like, that was never Ragnarok. Ragnarok will still happen. Like Thor will get this message from his dad. That was not Ragnarok, my son. Ragnarok is still upon you.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that too.
That, or if that indeed was Ragnarok, then there's a mention of the War of the Realms, and we go that route.
That's cool. His father's reaching out from him from beyond. Would then his father tell him that Loki's been reborn as his own son? He's like gonna go, tell my brother.
Yeah, because that's a different continuity. That's a different continuity. Odin is not an eternal. So do you want him to be an eternal? He can be an eternal. So
Trooper, would this be a good time to bring in Jormungandr? The World Serpent, I mean.
It depends on where you want to go with that too, because that becomes its own thing. So
I told you this is as I said, the mandate, the focus we're going on. We do get serious, but at the same time we get crazy with it too. And Jormungandr is the crazy aspect to it.
If we do that, then we gotta make sure that we form the Asgardians of the Galaxy first, so that we have a team to combat it. So,
and that's where your fourth movie comes in, but.
Well, like I said, my stuff was going to be animated stuff. So, what we could do, because I was thinking of maybe going there, is since I already have Valkyrie in Search of Valkyries, she can at that point recruit the A-Force. So.
Nah, we're not doing A-Force. There was never going to be no A-Force in my rewrite.
But my A-Force is a different assortment. It's just like what we talked last week. It's gonna be Domino. I don't know if I have Black Widow yet, depending on if I want to go ahead and give it to Sony or not. If I give it to Sony, she's the new Madam Web, which means that I have to have, say, maybe someone like Wanda be the leader of the A-Force. So a very neutered Wanda, obviously. Because we're just now getting past Multiverse of Madness, so she's not going to be at full power yet. So that's going to take time for her to kind of come back to one piece. And then as far as that, I also want to kind of add Angela to it as well. So that would be 2 Asgardians right there. One obviously is going to guest star, but I want access to White Tiger, though. That's my big thing. I want access to White Tiger if I do that. So, I mean, my main film would have to be something like A-Force or something like that.
Yeah.
But because what I want to do is,
like I said, that's where you have that opportunity to, because I gave you that door opening with like Captain America movie, which is I established that East Coast Avengers exists. You can establish that West Coast Avengers exists, and maybe White Tiger comes from that.
Yeah, or if I can't use I got a better idea. Okay, so all right, so what I want to do then, if we're gonna do that, then what I'll do is I'll because I kind of want to stick with the Asgardian thing. What I'll do is I'll just bring, gosh, and it didn't even dawn on me before. Let's see. I want to do then, if we're gonna have to go through this route, then my fourth film is going to be an Enchantress film.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
Enchantress. She's coming into the franchise.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, going back to Ragnarok being the true Ragnarok in this Asgardian of the galaxy, or whatever it is that you want to plan, Trooper. That's what I mean. This will be a hefty way of introducing new Asgardians. In the case Imora, also known as the Enchantress, or bring back the Warriors 3, and Heimdall, if each of us still wants to get in, which I doubt he is. We're gonna
He
bring him.
died. Like, I don't know if he wants to come back. he might not be dark enough.
But on the same token, if you will, on the same token, this is our way of bringing in brand new Asgardians that we haven't really introduced in most of the Thor movie proper. All we focused on was the Warriors 3, right? This is a golden opportunity to also bring in Beta Ray Bill, if you will.
Maybe as like a post-film teaser, if we really want to bring in Beta Ray Bill, because his whole thing is, because I don't know if I want to do an origin story with Beta Ray Bill, but that kind of character does really need an origin story. So
love the idea that when
remember Loki as a trickster, he's out of the game. So I mean, our trickster is going to have to